It's actually like one lesson that everything boils down to, and it's that everything happens for a reason. Like as soon as I learned that, I realized that anxiety or depression wasn't just some random imbalance in my brain. All of a sudden, it was something that was happening for a reason, and if it's happening for a reason, we can stop it. Was my whole thing, and that was just the everything has a new lens now. I can change everything. Like that's at the core of everything I teach and my whole philosophy on life now.
Amazing. So did it come down to a single reason, or it's multifaceted? There's so many reasons. Like, is there a particular reason that you think that was primarily why I was so depressed?
I'm pretty aware of multiple. So before that, I'd been involved in a crypto bull run, made a lot of money, and then lost it all.
That was Mike Lea, and you've landed on the Me&My Health Up podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Harcher, nutritionist and lifestyle medicine specialist. Today, yes, we've got a very special guest, and it's a mindset coach, Mike Lea. Mike Lea is the founder of Mindset Labs. He is an author and a mindset coach. And we are discussing how you can transform your mindset and in doing so, transform your health. So we're having an in-depth conversation around the mind and its direct interaction with your health and how you can live a healthier life through a healthier mind. So without much further ado, I'd love to welcome you into the discussion I'm having with Mike Lea.
Welcome on the Me&My Health Up podcast. How are you, Mike Lea?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. So great to have a expertise in the area of mind coaching or mindset coach. So really look forward to tapping in to your I guess expertise and really helping the listeners along with the way they can, I guess, better manage their mind or better control their mind or better lead and guide or be the leader of their minds. Before we get into the episode, I'd love you to bring the listeners up to speed as to how you've arrived at what you're doing today.
Yep. Yeah. Easy. I mean, I think my story is like my strongest point, and that's what like we have our story for a reason. And so, 5 years ago, I found myself just lost. I was anxious, depressed, and like thinking about taking my own life. To be honest, like that's how dark I got. That's how bad it got in my mind. And at that time, I heard about a Don DeMartini seminar, one of our biggest mentors, and that was the impetus for me. I was like, okay, this weekend either I learn what I need to understand my mind and fix things, or game over. And so I went there, did the breakthrough program, and everything just made sense from there. Understood my mind, understood why emotions happened, and from that point on, I just went on a 9-month journey to fix my own mind. And then once I got my life back on track and started thriving, I was like, cool, these tools can help everyone around me. And so I started trying to share that instead of getting involved in the self-help trend. It was actually self-actualization trend and trying to start that. And that's brought me up to today.
Yeah, incredible. In terms of it was literally a breakthrough for you, right?
Oh man, not wrong at all. I mean, what an experience, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess what was the big realization for you? Like, what was the light bulb moment in whether it be actually the weekend or was it the 9 months afterwards when you really started working on yourself? Was there a particular moment that really shifted you?
It's actually like one lesson that everything boils down to, and it's that everything happens for a reason. Like as soon as I learned that, I realized that anxiety or depression wasn't just some random imbalance in my brain. All of a sudden, it was something that was happening for a reason, and if it's happening for a reason, we can stop it. Was my whole thing, and that was just the everything has a new lens now. I can change everything. And like that's at the core of everything I teach and my whole philosophy on life now.
Amazing. So did it come down to a single reason or it's multifaceted? There's so many reasons. Like, is there a particular reason that you think that was primarily why I was so depressed?
I'm pretty aware of multiple. So before that, I'd been involved in a crypto bull run, made a lot of money, and then lost it all. And I was so infatuated with that money that I had made that I was just comparing my life to that and thinking, oh, if I had that money, I'll be happy. And so what am I doing? I'm just forfeiting my happiness now for that money. So that was one of the loops. Another was a girlfriend. I'd broken up with a girlfriend and I created this story in my head. I need a relationship to be happy. Again, I'm just piling onto myself here. And then the third was when anxiety had started because of my way of thinking. It scared me and confronted me. And I was so attached to not being anxious that I was trying so hard to be happy. And I was just making myself sad again and again and again. And those three things were sort of the big things that caused me to spiral.
Yeah, wow. And you would certainly, if you look at society, um, that what you're experiencing isn't uncommon. Like, people do have this fixation on money that, money will fix all my problems. Or if it's not money, it's if I get the right relationship, the right person in my life, they will fix all my problems, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is such a culture. I mean, it's a culture built on hedonism, and the solutions are all out there. And I always talk about it. It's like people looking for happiness is like a person roaming around the house looking for their glasses, only to realize it was on their head already. Like that's how we operate. It's crazy.
And obviously, you're helping these clients today, right? So there's people coming to see you that you've solved this problem yourself. You know how to solve it. Hence, people are finding you to help them, guide them through their concerns around whether it be money or relationships, and just anxiety is another one that's very prevalent, particularly amongst the younger generation. Just, or there's so many factors as to why that's the case. Is there a particular avatar that is seeing you at the moment, and what are they coming to see you for?
I've sort of got two. So I've got one is people that want to grow themselves, like they're doing well in the business, like they're doing well in life, but they know they're capable of more, and so they want to just level up their mindset, level up their belief, level up their worth, and strategically build. And then the other avatar that's starting to come through is people that are struggling with anxiety or ADHD and those sorts of things. And they're coming to me because they've tried conventional routes, they've not made as much progress as they would have loved. And what I offer them is more autonomy. I help them to see that this is just a challenge that we can solve. It's just, let's start training your mind like we would your body. And let's get you back on the path and see if we can start making a big difference. See if what worked for me and my earlier clients can help you as well. So I treat people as individuals instead of here's a band-aid solution for everyone's problem.
And so the one that's coming to you in relation to wanting to improve themselves, like this self-actualization, like, the journey that you went on, increasing that self-belief, self-worth. And where do you start with this particular person? Because it's quite particularly for young people. I mean, I certainly realized that I had fairly low self-esteem, low self-worth, and I wasn't worthy, and of love and all that sort of stuff. So, where do you start with this person that's coming to you? Just say it's me. It's a younger version of me. Yeah. Yeah.
You're young enough. Anyone that comes through, like the most important thing is like, let's get clear on your values. Let's get clear on your unique fingerprint and what makes you you. Because until we know that, how are we going to set goals for your life? Like, how are we going to know what you want to achieve and what's going to be fulfilling? So that sits at the core of everything. Like, let's get crystal clear on your values. Then we can remove everyone else's projection of, oh, you should be a doctor. You should be doing this. This is how you should. Because I want you to find your version of happiness, not what society's telling you it has to look like. So we get clear on the values, and then we start mapping out how you want your life to look. And that's when things might start popping up. It's fears or self-doubts, or don't love yourself enough to be able to put yourself forward, or not feel worthy, and all those sorts of things. So that's when we can start working strategically, and whatever comes up is what we address at the time. And we just build, and it's just piece by piece by piece. You're building your self-belief, you're building your self-worth, you're getting crystal clear on what you want to do, and then you get to build towards that future.
Yeah, that values piece is something that I got lost in. I was very much focused on societal values, so I attended an Anthony Robbins weekend, and set your vision and all this, and so my vision was to build a business listed on the stock exchange and create all this wealth, right? And and the interesting thing is that after that weekend, I really did nothing about it.
Why would you?
Yeah, you know, like because it was never me, but I realized that in time that I'm not driven by money, and so it was like I've more about making a difference and helping others and making an impact through helping others, and but this whole thing of building a business and listing it and all this was just this fantasy.
It's make money because you need more money to be good at life or whatever it is. It's crazy. And then like that's again where everyone runs into their problems. Like if you're not chasing what you want, of course you're going to procrastinate. Of course you're going to burn out. Of course you're not going to follow through. And then you just beat yourself up because you tried to achieve someone else's goal. It's just the wires are crossed a bit.
So this is an interesting one around values, because having spent some time in corporate, that they'll talk about values, right? But the values that they would, talk about is, honesty and integrity and all this sort of stuff. But that doesn't help really, shift the needle in terms of, drive me to be the best version of, I mean, it does aid and support it, but it really doesn't. It's sort of like, well, don't we all want that, right? So in terms of helping someone really find their uniqueness and connect with those values, what are some of the questions you ask, or how do you elicit that out of the person?
Yeah, so I take him through a sort of a hybrid between Dr. John Demartini's value determination process, and then I've created a bit of a variation in my own version as well. But basically, it's just moving away from these ideals of, oh, my values are happiness, my values are joy, peace, like they're character traits, they're fantastic to have and great. But I want to know what makes you tick. Like, I want to know what you love to talk about. I want to know where you're happy to spend your money, like what your goals are, like the things that you're constantly thinking about. The things about your values is your values are what you're going to just show up and do spontaneously. You never need to be motivated. It's what you want to spend your time, energy, money on, all those sorts of things. And so taking you through these processes, we can get crystal clear on what your life demonstrates, as opposed to what you think it should be or society's telling you or any of that sort of stuff. So that's like the DeMartini way. Another one I do is, look, we're one of billions of people on this planet currently. There's been billions of people that have lived before, billions of characters. Everyone will have their favorite 10 people that have ever existed. People out there in society that have done things that inspire you most or whatnot. And I think there's a very, very important link between the people you most look up to and you, because they're reflecting the greatest versions of yourself. So I've also created a process where you can find who those people are. You plug them into the AI, which I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point, and then you get to figure out the big why behind what it is about those people and what it means to you as well.
Wow, that's because if I look at all the people that I've looked up to and aspired, that there's certainly over time I've started to own those traits, because the reason why I recognize and look up to it is because I they're in me, but I'm just not yeah.
That's it. And then you give yourself the power to think at that level, and then your impact just grows, doesn't it?
And who are yours? Like, because obviously you've been through this process.
I mean, I've got Plato, Socrates. There's another philosopher, Diogenes, from ancient Greek as well. So a lot of those early philosophers, just in their crystal clear way of thinking and what they're able to achieve. I really enjoyed character like Tommy Shelby, Ted Lasso. Years ago, before who he is now, it was Elon. Back when he first started, like the vision with getting to Mars, like trying to solve the space problem, all that sort of stuff. They're the main ones that jump out. When I was younger, I read some historical fiction books on Genghis Khan and Julius Caesar. And for me at the time, they were very formative books. And so what I learned from those and how they're depicted in this book as opposed to who they really were in history, they were quite pivotal for me as well. So yeah, it's just grabbing from all different walks. And it's there's a reason why my favorite shows are what they are. Something in that speaks to my core, my identity, all those things. So yeah, Ted Lasso, absolutely.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders was up there as well. I really love Welcome to Wrexham, just for, how cool of an impact, you see the significance of sport to society and how through upgrading one part of the community, it can have all those ripple effects and change thousands, if not millions of lives. I think that's such an inspiring show about what we can do and how if we put love into something that can just pour out and then affect others.
So so you help your clients find their values, and be really clear as to what they are. And then you said you help guide them towards a vision. How do you help someone, take them from, I guess, having those foundational values, realizing who they are, what's important to them, to then having an aspirational vision of where they want to go?
Yeah. So once we've got the values, then I'll start asking just really honing in with them through questions and conversation of what it is they would love to do. And sometimes it pops up straight away for them. Sometimes we have to do digging, and because there's layers of ego and protections and all those sorts of things. So there's no one way. I don't ask this one question and get the answer every time, but it's very intuition guided through the conversation of, if you say something and it sounds like, okay, that feels like it's shame driven, then it's okay, why do you not feel like you're worthy of having a global vision? Why do you not think? And then we take care of all those until eventually you get to the point when you know that you're worthy of having a global vision and wanting to achieve something with your life. You're worthy of love and sharing that love with the world. And so it's just navigating the conversation until someone realizes they're qualified, capable, and worthy. And then the vision just sort of emerges for them.
Nice. It's really something that people are looking for, isn't it? Like really, like they're questioning, why am I here? What's my purpose? The purpose of here on planet Earth, and having someone to help them realize that or find that is so important, because otherwise, what happens is you get lost. Like you were tied up with this whole thing around money and your self-worth tied to money, and if you didn't. Because you've lost the money, you're useless, you're hopeless.
That's
And
it.
if I had that money, things would be so much better.
That's it. Yeah, it's amazing what we can do with our mind and what we can think. But yeah, like it's just about bringing people back to themselves. And like once you're so strong and confident in yourself, then it doesn't matter what's going on out there, because like you've got this. You're good, and then you keep building.
Yeah, and when you wake up with that, that purpose sort of driven, you look forward to every day. Like you think, like I'm really, I'm making an impact. I'm making a difference. It's exciting to get out of bed when you're.
That's it.
Yeah, really transform. Whether you're in the process of transforming yourself, or in the process of helping transform others, or transform, build a something bigger than you, then it's just really, it's like this magnetism. It's this pull, isn't it?
Mhm. That's it. And it's like yeah, the world becomes better one person at a time. Like the rising tide raises all boats. And like I've been sad, it's not that much fun. And now I've been happy, and I get to love life, and I get to share that. And it's like, why wouldn't I do this? And why not help others to love life as well? Because we've all got that same spark in us if we can just find it. And it's exciting. And it's exciting that the world's waking up to this now as well, more and more. And opportunities are emerging more and more for it too.
And the other thing that you help your clients through is their overall well-being, their wellness quotient, so to speak. And you very much do this through your focus around mindset work. So how does your mindset work tie into someone's health and well-being?
So, I mean, I preach, as Aristotle did, everything in moderation. So I just sort of try and give them healthy relationships with everything. I've taken a lot of my philosophical principles for looking at mindset and applied it to diet, to movement, all those sort of things as well. And whilst I'm not qualified in any of those areas, I think I've got a good diet. I think I've got good, healthy, like movement behaviors. And I just pass that on to people. I just encourage people to live the life they want to live, because once you, again, connected with your values, once you're living out of love, your life's going to be better. You're going to be healthier. You're going to be more well anyway, as opposed to taking supplements but being miserable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of them feeding one, and it's like this vicious cycle, right? So you're miserable thinking the supplements will fix you, and the supplements are,
and then you can't afford the supplements, so you can't afford the thing to make you happy. It's like, oh my God.
Vicious cycle.
It's tough out there, isn't it?
Yeah. So really keen to explore this philosophy around, you take this more moderate approach, and just defining that. And also, you mentioned, you've got a certain philosophy around eating and movement. If you could, share that with the listeners, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I believe, like, I honestly, I look for everything in like a natural way. So my diet is probably closer to paleo than anything else, because I mean, I don't believe in a particular religion, but I think God made food perfect for how we can consume it. Like I try to eat like grass-fed animal, like beef and whatnot, because that seems to be most natural for me, the most natural form. And I try to eat that and like honor the food and all that. I don't do any extreme fads with the diets. Like I don't put sauces on my foods because I don't know the ingredients that are in it. I just cook with fresh ingredients, and I just have that love for food, and I feel the energy through it. So like we live in a world of like self-help where everything has to be tracked. You have to eat the same amount of calories every day, wake up at the same time, be in bed at the same time. And I just think it's a bit too extreme. Like humans, we're robust. Like I think routine's meant to be spread out over a week instead of every single day, if that makes sense. And that's more my philosophy. It's like less pressure on yourself, less trying to be a robot, more being fluid and flexible. If you've eaten a lot more the last couple of days, cool, do a little fast today just to balance it out. You know what I mean? Instead of every day looking the same and a lot of pressure on oneself.
Absolutely. That sort of more fluid approach to life, right? There's more flow in what you're sharing, as opposed to this rigidity, it's like
That's it.
Yeah.
Like if waking up at 6:30 works for you, cool. If it doesn't, okay. Like you don't have to do that. Like That's not a rule that someone wrote down, like thou shalt wake up at 6:30. That's crazy. So it's just teaching people to throw out what everything the society is saying and find what works for them. And like at the end of the day, wellness isn't about performance. Wellness isn't about what anyone else thinks of you. It's about how you feel with yourself. It's your vitality, it's your life. So I think it's just trying to help people break away from the performed wellness and this fad of trying to be super, super fit, thinking that's well, because there's a difference between fitness and health. And I'm trying to remind people of that.
Yeah, and it's very much like that longevity trend, like, people getting, wanting a longer life, but they get so rigid that it's quite miserable living that sort of way. So why do
Yes.
you want to, like, I'm just thinking, it's just,
Like, are you a masochist?
yeah, just
Like,
to
yeah.
extend your
Are you
misery.
happy? Are you happy? No, but I want to live for 100 years of unhappiness. Why? It's strange, but yeah, like people are so caught up in their health and trying to better themselves that they forget to live, and like that's not it. Like I don't want to have a bedtime and be like I can't keep having fun because it's 9:30. If I get 7 hours of sleep, I get 7 hours of sleep. I can have a nap tomorrow. That's how life's meant to be lived, I think. It's just teaching and reminding people that there's options and flexibility.
Yeah, and then like there's this obviously the supplement industry is huge and it's just growing, and
Mhm.
but people thinking that health's in a supplement, like it just doesn't, like where does that
Yeah.
come from? Like, it's like, the more supplements I take, the healthier I am. Like it.
I'll confess, I have just started taking a supplement again for the first time in years, but it's magnesium. And the only reason I'm taking it, and this is your domain, like you're definitely the expert on this, but what one of my friends said was often we get magnesium through our vegetables, and so magnesium stored in the soil, but because of crop rotation, all that, it's a lot less prevalent in the food, and so we're probably short on magnesium. And that's why I've started taking it. But that's literally it. I don't do protein, none of that, because why? Eat a good diet.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the magnesium,
Yeah.
and yeah, absolutely. The soils are over farmed or overutilized, and they don't contain the minerals once had, and they're not being replenished at the rate we're taking away. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's they're quite stripped of their minerals. So yeah. So it's yeah, but so yeah, you've got this very modest. But what about the move? So we've covered the diet side. The diet side is very, it's clean and natural, and
Mhm.
more paleo like, and yeah, in terms of closer to the source of where the food comes from. In terms of the movement side of things,
Yeah, so I've had a bit of a journey. Like I've done everything. So started with gym, did hardcore gym for a few years, then moved into more calisthenics movement, did yoga for a couple of years, and then recent block was Ironman training. And out of all of those, the one that I've felt the best on was yoga. Like the consistent, like the yoga, increasing the flexibility of the body. Like you just feel better in your body. And so I just go for, I don't understand this whole logic of, okay, yep, I'll drive to the gym, I'll work out for an hour, and then I'll live sedentary the rest of my life. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So I walk everywhere. I sit on the floor. I sit on furniture. I stretch in my everyday life. Like I don't think I have to do all my working out in a 1 hour block 3 days a week and then nothing the rest of the time. So it's just a very balanced bit. Like I swear by yoga. I think it's fantastic for the body, for the mind. It strengthens everything. And this is getting very esoteric and or metaphysical. I don't know, but I do think there's a link between like having more flexibility and mobility in your body and just more vitality for life and like just the body feeling better. So I think that, and I'd rather that than in a gym where you just do a curl and only work out a tiny bit of the muscle. That's sort of my take on it.
and it's very aligned to your take on life. It's fluid, right? It's not rigid. Like
Yeah,
it's this body that moves well and flows and moves through the environment, and yeah, in a fluid state and very adaptable state, and it's not that, I guess, the rigid and can only be this way.
that's it. And yeah, I feel like we've lost a lot of connection with our body as well. Like if I do bench press every day for like 3 years, like I'm not thinking about that movement. And so I'm not understanding what muscles are working and how to move my body or anything like that. And like yoga brought me back to that. It brought me back to like each little muscles and all that sort of thing. And then it just got me thinking, okay, am I walking properly? Like what's the biomechanics in my walking? How am I sitting? All these sorts of things. Am I got the range of motion that I want? Like why not? So I think it's just great for rebuilding that body mind connection as well, which helps with diet, helps with life, helps with everything else too.
It's so true that more fluid approach to life keeps you more present, because you're not in that robotic way of, this at this, as you said, this time I do this, and I eat this
Yep.
amount of quantity of food and this type of food, and it becomes very robotic and subconscious, as opposed to you stay very present and in the moment through your lifestyle of being more fluid in all aspects of it.
100%. Like, I've just done a 12-month block of Ironman training, and I didn't plan any of it. Like, I didn't plan any weeks or any months, because how am I going to know on the 1st of January what my body's going to be able to do on the 22nd? Like, if I schedule a 30K run, but I wake up that morning and I feel terrible and I force myself, I'm probably going to hurt myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not just see what the body's able to do that day and accept that you're going to have periods where you can't do it. That's part of the process, and periods where you can do more, and just allow things to happen as they are and work with nature, work with the body.
As opposed to, as you said, if you start forcing things, that's when injuries happen and accidents. And it's
I think so. Yeah. Like it just, again, it's like, it's the world that we live in though. Like, everything has to be planned, structured, forced in a way, ticked off. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that results, performance, accolades, achievements, society, like it's, letters next to your name and titles.
Yep.
We've all been
don't
there.
get me started.
Well, certainly, I've been on a journey through that myself. So
we all go. Yeah, it's about yeah.
Fantastic conversation, Mike. I really appreciated, the way you do things and how you do them with your clients, and how you can help them. For those listeners out there thinking, oh, Mike's the person for me to really help me break through, what I'm going through, how can the listeners best connect with you?
The best way would actually be on my Instagram. So it's at mike.lea_, so MIKE.LEA_. On my Instagram, you can message me. Like, I'll happily respond to any message and connect and help people where I can. I've also got access to the AI that I built there. The AI is all of my philosophies, all the books that I've written, all programmed into this AI that's meant to serve as a coach. So it's like you're sitting down with me in AI form. So it's accessible 20. That's something I'm working to build and bring to more and more people and to make better over time. You can do that. Otherwise, I work with people. I do a retainer model. So it's $1,000 for a month, and you get access to calls, to messages, to one-on-one sessions, and we just help you take your life from where you are to where you want to go. Yeah, that's the best way for me. And soon there'll be books as well. We're working on that at the minute, but they'll be coming shortly.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I'll include those links that you mentioned in the show notes, so the listeners can go directly to the show notes and connect with you. I really appreciate your valuable time and sharing your insights and wisdoms with the Me&My Health Up listeners.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on board, and I've loved it.
Awesome, mate. We'll have to have you on again. So, we'll welcome you back.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be on the nose.
Podcast disclaimer. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions or statements within it do not constitute medical, healthcare or professional advice and are provided for general information purposes only. All care is taken in the preparation of the information in this podcast. Connected Wellness Proprietary Limited, operating under the brand Me&My Health Up, does not make any representations or give any warranties about its accuracy, reliability, completeness, or suitability for any particular purpose. This podcast and any information, advice, opinions, or statements within it are not to be used as a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, psychiatric, or any other mental health care or healthcare in general. Me&My Health Up recommends you seek the advice of a doctor or qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Inform your doctor of any changes that you may to your lifestyle and discuss these with your doctor. Do not disregard medical advice or delay visiting a medical professional because of something you hear in this podcast. This podcast has been carefully prepared on the basis of current information. Changes in circumstances after publication may affect the accuracy of this information. To the maximum extent permitted by the law, Me&My Health Up disclaims any such representations or warranties to the completeness, accuracy, merchantability, or fitness for purpose of this podcast and will not be liable for any expenses, losses, damages incurred, indirect or consequential damages or costs that may be incurred as a result of the information being inaccurate or incomplete in any way and for any reason. No part of this podcast can be reproduced, redistributed, published, copied, or duplicated in a form without prior permission of Me&My Health Up.